In the land of Canaan, a young man named Joseph dreamed of greatness. The favored son of Jacob, he was blessed with visions that set him apart from his brothers. But envy would soon turn his life upside down, leading him on a journey of trials and triumphs. This is the story of Joseph and Pharaoh's dream, a tale of destiny that changed the course of history. Meanwhile, in the heart of Egypt, Pharaoh, the mightiest ruler of his time, was troubled by a series of unsettling dreams that would soon reveal a message from the divine. Joseph's story begins in Canaan, where he lived a life of privilege. As the favorite son, he was gifted a magnificent coat by his father. But this favoritism bred resentment among his brothers. They plotted against him, driven by jealousy and anger. One fateful day, their betrayal led to Joseph being sold into slavery, a turning point that would set him on an unexpected path. In Egypt, Joseph faced numerous challenges. Despite being sold as a slave, he rose to prominence in the household of Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh.
Wow! Shh! You are so handsome, Joseph.
No, I can't do that against my God.
Okay, we shall see.
Yet a false accusation led to his imprisonment, where he remained forgotten by many. Little did he know, his ability to interpret dreams would soon change his fortune. Pharaoh's dreams were vivid and perplexing. In one, he saw 7 sleek and fat cows grazing in a lush meadow. Suddenly, 7 gaunt and lean cows emerged from the Nile and devoured the healthy ones. But the lean cows remained as emaciated as before. In another dream, 7 healthy ears of grain grew on a single stalk, only to be consumed by 7 thin, blighted ears. The dreams haunted Pharaoh, leaving him distressed and anxious. Desperate for answers, Pharaoh summoned all the wise men and magicians of Egypt. Yet, despite their knowledge and experience, none could interpret the dreams. They all failed that they almost got killed by Pharaoh. Frustrated, Pharaoh felt the weight of uncertainty pressing upon him. It was then that the cupbearer remembered Joseph, the young Hebrew imprisoned with him, who had accurately interpreted his own dream. With hope, he spoke to Pharaoh, suggesting that they bring Joseph forth to reveal the meaning behind the troubling dreams. Joseph was quickly summoned to Pharaoh's court, a mix of anxiety and anticipation coursing through him. When he stood before the mighty ruler, he remained humble, declaring, "I cannot interpret dreams, but God will give Pharaoh the answer he desires." With great detail, Pharaoh recounted his dreams, revealing the turmoil within his heart. Joseph listened intently, sensing the weight of the moment. After a moment of contemplation, Joseph confidently interpreted the dreams. "The dreams of Pharaoh are one and the same," he explained. "God has revealed what he is about to do. The 7 cows and 7 ears represent 7 years of abundance, followed by 7 years of famine that will consume the land." Pharaoh listened, his face a mix of relief and concern. Joseph continued, advising him to store grain during the years of plenty to prepare for the impending famine. Pharaoh recognized the wisdom in Joseph's words, and a plan began to form. Impressed by Joseph's insight and wisdom, Pharaoh turned to his advisors. "Can we find anyone like this man, in whom is the Spirit of God?" he declared. With that, Pharaoh appointed Joseph as second in command over all of Egypt, granting him authority to prepare for the coming famine. Pharaoh adorned Joseph with fine garments and a gold chain around his neck, signifying his new role. Joseph was given a chariot and a retinue of officials, marking his rapid rise from prisoner to governor.
I can't believe it. Oh, God.
As the years of abundance came to pass, Joseph implemented a strategic plan, storing vast quantities of grain. But then, as foretold, the 7 years of famine struck. The once fertile fields turned barren, and the people of Egypt began to suffer. The famine extended beyond Egyptian borders, and people flocked to Egypt in search of hope amidst the crisis, reaching surrounding nations, desperate for sustenance. Thanks to Joseph's foresight, Egypt became a source of hope. Meanwhile, in Canaan, Jacob and his sons faced their own struggles. As the famine worsened, Jacob urged his sons to travel to Egypt to buy grain. Unbeknownst to them, they were about to confront the brother they had wronged. When the brothers arrived in Egypt, they found themselves standing before Joseph, who recognized them immediately. However, he concealed his identity, testing their character. Joseph accused them of being spies, demanding proof of their honesty. The brothers were bewildered and frightened, but they pleaded for mercy, recounting their family story and mentioning their youngest brother, Benjamin. Overwhelmed by emotions, Joseph could hardly contain himself. He longed to reveal his identity, but first needed to see if his brothers had truly changed. He devised a plan to test them further. Joseph instructed his servants to fill the brothers' sacks with grain, but also to secretly place his silver cup in Benjamin's sack. When the brothers set off, Joseph sent his steward after them, accusing them of theft. When the cup was discovered in Benjamin's sack, the brothers were filled with despair. They returned to Joseph, fearing for their lives. This was the moment Joseph had been waiting for, to see their true hearts and their love for their family. Joseph could no longer hold back. "I am Joseph," he revealed, his voice trembling with emotion. The brothers were stunned, speechless in disbelief. Memories of their betrayal flooded back, but Joseph reassured them, "Do not be afraid. It was God who sent me here to preserve life." In that very moment, the weight of their past began to lift. Joseph embraced his brothers, and tears of joy filled their eyes. The pain of betrayal was replaced by the warmth of forgiveness, a beautiful reunion forged through hardship. In the years that followed, Joseph brought his entire family to Egypt, ensuring their safety during the ongoing famine. Jacob, his father, rejoiced upon reuniting with his long-lost son. The story of Joseph and Pharaoh's dream teaches us profound lessons about forgiveness, resilience, and divine providence. In moments of despair, we can find purpose and hope, reminding us that our journeys may lead us to places we never imagined.
Joseph stood tall, no fear in his eyes, facing the storm under darkened skies. With faith in his heart and God by his side, Through every trial, love did abide. Confident steps, he never did stray. Guided by light, he showed us the way. Warm like the sun and strong like a tree. Oh, Joseph, brave and true, the Spirit always knew. In every night there's dawn, and love will carry on. Faith like a mountain, high as the skies, lifted by hope that never denies. In every heart there's a spark of grace, and in His love we all find our place. Oh, Joseph, brave and true.
When the shadows gathered tight, she faced the night, she showed her might. Whispering prayers to the sky, her faith in God would never die. Against the storm she took her stand, with hope and courage in her hand. For every heart that felt the strain, her spirit soared above the pain. Against the storm she took her stand, with hope and courage in her hand. For every heart that felt the strain, her spirit soared above the pain. Esther, oh brave of heart, with faith that set her apart. In the darkest hour she shone bright, her love for God, her guiding light. In the silence she could hear the voice of truth that conquered fear. Her path was clear, no turning back, for she knew she was on the right track. In the silence she could hear the voice of truth that conquered fear. Her path was clear, no turning back, for she knew she was on the right track. Esther, oh brave of heart, with faith that set her apart. In the darkest hour she shone bright, her love for God, her guiding light. So let her story echo far, a beacon like the morning star. With confidence and faith as her guide, Esther's legacy shall never hide.